Hey guys, I am back and we have a lot to cover today because news has been on a whole other level. The first things first is Cardi B and Nicki Minaj. Now, what happened there? So they were at Harper's event and all of a sudden it was almost as if a fight broke out.
No. Hold tight. I got it. Hold tight. Hold tight. Hold tight.
Bitch, come here. Bitch, come here. Bitch, come here.
One to all units. Second floor terror team ASAP. One to all units.
You got him? Yeah, I got it. Hold tight. Hold tight. Hold tight. I got you.
One to all units. One to all units. Second floor terror. ASAP. Second floor terror. ASAP. Second floor terror. ASAP.
Well, it was about to be and it ended up not being because obviously all of Cardi's team jumped in, her security guard, we had Nicki's security guard, so it didn't happen. But the famous shoe is out there and Cardi B did throw her shoe at Nicki Minaj. So the whole situation happened as a result of liking a tweet or some sort of insinuation that Cardi B isn't a good mother to her child Culture. And after that, Cardi B decided to confront her at Harper's and say, you know, I'm tired of this. You have been sneak dissing me for a long time now. You constantly tell people that if they work with me, you won't work with them. And now you're talking about me being a parent to my child, like you've crossed the line. And that's when she decided to confront her about it. Obviously, so many people got in between. Nothing ended up happening. And Cardi B decided to take off her red bottoms and throw it over at Nicki. And for some reason, a lot of people were thinking that Cardi B got hit by Ra Ali and all this other stuff, but it wasn't. It was her security guard accidentally elbowed her in order to try and stop the fight. And I was talking to my friends about it, and it was funny because they were all saying, you know, I can't believe she got so ratchet at an event that was so high class. And I'm like, to be honest, I didn't really think it... Not that I didn't think it was ratchet, but I think she had a right to react that way because Nicki has been a bully for a long time now towards her. Ever since Cardi B got big, Nicki Minaj has thrown subliminals and, you know, has acted out. And it's just not fair that Cardi B has kept her mouth shut practically all this time, and now that she's trying to voice herself out and trying to defend herself and defend her family, she's being called ratchet and being called you know, all these other names, which I don't think it's fair because yes, I agree there's a time and place for everything. Unfortunately, this was the time she decided to act out, but it was called for because Nicki Minaj had it coming for her for a long time now. And to say that it's not classy, I mean, I guess you can look at it in two different ways, but I do think that it was called for, and regardless of it being a classy event or not, Nicki Minaj had it coming for her. And you know what, at the end of the day, we have two girls, one from Brooklyn, one from the Bronx, and there is a lot of ratchetness going on behind the scenes that although they don't portray all the time, it is what it is, basically. I don't know what's gonna happen from here on out because I definitely think this relationship would not be mended. It is unfortunate because I think that if they were to come together, it would be such a dynamic duo to do a song together, and lyrically, they would probably kill it. But on to next news. We have the big talk about Serena Williams losing her cool at the US Open final match.
If he gives me a thumbs up, he's telling me to come on. We don't have any code, and I know you don't know that, and I understand why you may have thought that was coaching, but I'm telling you it's not. I don't cheat to win. I'd rather lose. I'm just letting you know.
It was a coaching violation. I guess it was a thumbs up, and Serena's setting him straight. That is not coaching. I don't cheat to win, I'd rather lose, she says.
People are obviously distraught about her losing to 20-year-old Naomi Osaka, but you know what? Naomi played her best. I'm really happy for her, and I was rooting for her as well, because to be 20 years old, have the opportunity to play against one of the greatest tennis players is amazing. Really good accomplishment within itself, so I thought it was great either way. The situation that happened there was that the referee insinuated that there was cheating going on between Serena Williams and her coach, signaling. He deducted some points. She called him a thief. People were basically accusing him of being sexist, and as a result of this whole situation, she is set to pay a $17,000 fine, and that fine is divided into 3 different violations that happened. The first being verbal abuse against the chair umpire, the second for being warned for coaching, and the third for breaking her racket. And you know, this is huge because instead of it being an accomplishment and a celebration for Naomi, it was more so shedded light on what happened between Serena Williams and the chair umpire, and how that kind of led to racial remarks. And unfortunately, this has never happened in the US final match. So she said it herself. She said, I'd rather lose than cheat to win. And that's just not her motto. She has a daughter now, and she's come a long way. To cheat now, that's not gonna happen. So I don't know if you guys saw recently, Drake and Meek Mill squash the beef. Coming because of the whole situation with Drake being so supportive when Meek Mill was in jail. And let's talk about Power. Can you freaking believe what happened with the season finale of Power? I couldn't believe well, let me just say this, for those who have not watched it, please skip over this part, because you will have the season finale ruined for you, because what I'm just about to say is gonna have you going crazy. I cannot believe that one of my most favorite characters in the show, actually, Angela Valdez, got killed by no other than Tommy. Like, in what? I would have never even thought that would have happened. Last week it was Kanan. This week is Angela Valdez. And the whole situation comes about because Tommy found out that it was Ghost who had ordered, or you know, who had plotted to have Tommy kill his own father, when in fact his own father, Teresi, wasn't even going to implicate Tommy. He was going to implicate Ghost. Of course, Ghost, being the self prick that he is, sorry for my language, he decided to take care of himself and protect himself, and have Tommy believe his own father was snitching on him, to have Tommy kill his own father. Blood on his own hands. And so Tommy was like, nah, this ain't going down like this. I'm gonna get this guy back. And exactly what he did. You know, it was meant for the bullet to hit Ghost, but it got even better when it actually hit Angela Valdez, and it was like, wow, I hit him where it most hurt. His one and only love. So now we have to wait until, you know, what the new season is gonna bring, but I just think it's the best show ever, and I think the writers are phenomenal. I think that they're so creative, and they always have everyone jumping off their seats. It's just, how could it ever end? So that's that. So go watch it if you haven't watched it, but I just can't wait for the season, you know, the new season to come. Kanye recently tweeted that Throne 2 was coming out. I don't even know how that's gonna be, because I haven't seen him and Jay-Z hang out in months. I don't even know if they have a relationship anymore. I know Jay-Z always considers Kanye his brother, and you know, regardless of them not talking much or losing touch, it will always be a brotherhood between them. So I'm sure that they'll get together and make a great album, but that is to come, which I wouldn't have imagined it to be soon, but apparently it is. a lot of people were blaming, to go on another note, Ariana Grande for the death of Mac Miller. He overdosed on drugs, and a lot of people went onto her page commenting and backlashing her for breaking up with him and it being the result of his death. And to be honest, I think it's very unfair that people are blaming her, because if a relationship doesn't work out for X, Y, and Z or whatever reason, it doesn't mean that you're at fault for whatever happens to that person they're on out if you're no longer with them. And the fact that people are saying that she should have stayed with him for the sake of his sanity and his emotional well-being is really selfish, because why would she stay with someone who she's no longer being fulfilled by in one way or another? And last but not least, a very, very racy photo from Selena Gomez on New York Fashion Week. Very scandalous picture with some cleavage, and a lot of people are saying that she got some new accessories, her boobies, and I really, really don't think so. I just think that she's wearing a push-up bra. I mean, has anyone ever heard of a push-up bra? It's like people automatically assume you get plastic surgery, and I mean, that is the case in sometimes, but that isn't the case in all cases. And I just feel like a girl must have worn a nice push-up bra, showed her boobies, and that's all. But she is looking real good after the whole, Justin Bieber engagement news with Hailey Baldwin. And if you guys want to hear more about the recent news and want to learn more about it, just subscribe below. And thank you so much.